These are times Lois Griffin was actually a good mom in Family Guy, starting with the time Lois rescued Meg from a foot fetish party before she was scarred for life in This Little Piggy. So Meg gets noticed by a photographer and hears a string of words she probably never expected to hear in her life.
Have you ever modeled?
I've never even been in a picture before.
It's true. If you look just closely enough at their home photos, you can see that every picture of Meg is just Chris in a wig and hat.
You've got a great look. Here's my number. Give me a call if you're interested.
So Meg lets her parents know about her new gig, and their reactions are about what you'd expect.
Lois, please send these back to the factory. I believe they're defective.
Well, you should have looked up the serial number on those before you ripped them off. I don't think they make those models anymore.
You know, it would be nice if you guys believed in me just once. You're being terrible parents.
However, they would later prove to be right, even before they had any reason to think so. That's still a win in their book. Remember, being a parent is less about taking care of your kid and more about being right more than them any chance you get. But while the photo shoot goes well, Meg soon learns exactly what kind of modeling she'll be doing.
A lot of people will pay good money for pictures of sexy feet. Foot fetish sites are a huge business.
You know what? Get your bag, Meg. The best kind of money is the kind you're afraid to tell your family about where it came from anyway.
You got 35,000 views in one night, and none of them got past the fourth picture.
What does that mean? Oh.
The world of foot modeling is weird. It's one of the few kinds of modeling where it's a success if they look at the least amount of pictures possible. Very interesting and very gross.
That's amazing. It's not often that anyone says anything nice about any part of me.
That's not true. I say nice things about you all the time. For instance, you have good haunches, which is a good sign of forward propulsion if you ever wanted to enter yourself in a horse show. But it doesn't take long for the house's resident degenerate to come across Meg's pictures.
Mom, Dad, Meg is doing foot
What? Oh my God?
A phrase no parent wants to hear. Unless they're willing to share some of that sweet, sweet foot money. In that case, they'll be paying for pedicures every day.
We know you've been doing foot and that is going to stop right now.
Please, don't try to act like you guys care.
Well, that's Peter's cue. But Lois puts pressure on Meg to quit for her own safety, but Meg isn't hearing any of it.
I'm going to a big party they're throwing in my honor.
Meg, don't you dare walk out that door or you're grounded.
Sorry, Lois, but these feet were made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. They were also apparently made for some really gross stuff, but that's what the party's for.
We gotta find out where that party is and get Meg out of there.
Luckily, they know of another degenerate they can count on to figure out where that party is.
Says there's a shoot party tonight.
Shoot. What's that?
It's 50 guys, 1 foot.
Okay, yeah, we've officially diverged into nightmare territory. No amount of money could get me to do that. But if you guys want to try and test that theory, my DMs are open. Luckily, Lois manages to stop this party before that big old tarp gets put to use.
You shouldn't have to do to feel appreciated.
Really?
Of course, Meg.
Kinda sounds like a sentiment that should have been said days ago, but at least they got here before Meg's feet are irreparably changed forever. Gotta say though, Lois is getting slower and slower on the draw here. Maybe she could try just being nice to her daughter always before she does something she'll regret. And Lois almost regretted not stepping in sooner when Meg wanted to go to Mars, leading to Lois crashing an entire rocket just to save her and Martian Meg. So things actually start out pretty negatively with Lois, who does everything she can to get out of going to a concert with her daughter.
Tuesdays are just impossible. Wednesdays too, and then Thursday through Monday, I'm pretty much just prepping for Tuesday.
Well, maybe Meg can try again in another life. That seems to be the only time when Lois will be available. And after Meg can't find anyone willing to go with her, she just decides to go by herself, only to have her heart crushed.
Mom? What are you doing here? I thought you were busy.
I'm sorry, there was a Groupon. The moment it was $4 cheaper, I was powerless to say no.
Never mind that the original tickets were free because Meg bought them. So not only did she ditch Meg, but she paid to go to the same thing she could have gone to for free. I promise Lois does better, but I can understand you wanting her to die right now. But Meg ends up thinking she's found her calling in life when she spots a recruitment for people to go to Mars. I think everyone around her would probably agree that this is a good choice.
Is there life on Mars?
Somebody better go check in on David Bowie's grave. I think I can hear his tossing and turning from here. And while the prospect of leaving for Mars sounds insane, Lois is surprisingly receptive to it.
This will be good for you, and if you're chosen, we'll miss you, but you'll have our support.
Yeah, Lois thinks Meg is bluffing, and by accepting her latest attempt to act out, she believes she'll eventually come to her senses. Now, whether that happens while her feet are on Earth or on Mars has yet to be seen. So Meg begins her astronaut training, covering all the essentials like developing a good one-liner for when she touches the planet for the first time.
Did I do that?
Not bad. We would also have accepted, "What's up?"
And preparing herself for the harsh, cold climate.
To train you to survive, we found a similar environment. An abandoned Bed Bath & Beyond.
So this was the Beyond Buzz Lightyear was always referring to. Well, I'm glad that the Beyond section finally has its use. I always hated it when I was looking for bath towels in there and ended up on some other plane of existence. And when it's time to see who will be picked for the mission, Lois still isn't budging on her hands-off parenting style.
And no matter what happens, just remember, you definitely proved your point.
Lois thinks this is the equivalent of a kid threatening to run away. Only problem is, NASA is helping fund her running away.
The winner is Meg!
She won?
Mom, I did it! I'm going to Mars!
Elsewhere, Meg is chosen as the sole astronaut to go to Mars, and suddenly Lois has an issue with that. Like she would even realize she's gone. This is the same lady who thought Meg was a barrel with a wig on it.
Meg, you can't go to Mars.
You can't talk me out of this, Mom. I'm going.
After all, this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. If you're gonna be alone the rest of your life, you might as well be doing it on another planet in the name of science. But of course, now is when her family and friends actually start to be nice to her, which gives her second thoughts.
Wow. Now I'm actually feeling kind of sad to leave you guys.
Don't worry, Meg. Once Peter gives you one more fart in the face for the road, all those feelings will go away. But on the day of the launch, Lois realizes her parental worrying has come too little too late.
Oh my God, she doesn't want to go. We gotta call off the launch.
Lois, do you have any idea how expensive this all was? They'd sooner the spacecraft blow up on launch than not have it launch at all. So when the launch is to proceed as planned, Lois tries to stop it herself.
Mom?
Nobody shoots my baby into space.
But that slight shift in the rocket's weight causes the whole thing to spiral out and crash into the water. Gotta say though, I'm impressed. I've heard of mom strength, but I've never seen a mom so strong that she can hang on to a barreling rocket.
I'm sorry you won't get to go to Mars.
Even if she was very late to the party, it was heartwarming to see Lois risk her life for Meg. Maybe next time Meg can just run away to somewhere equally as alien but still on Earth, like New Orleans. Whole different world over there. And when Stewie was opened up to a whole new world of loving Lois after she saved Rupert, Lois had to instill some tough love to earn her freedom back, and Stewie loves Lois. So all at the park, Stewie quickly learns that he can't talk to every dog like he talks to Brian.
Why don't you go away? I don't want to be your friend.
Rupert! Oh dear God, somebody help!
Another tribute to the sandbox gods. It's common knowledge that when you're a kid, you have to lose at least one toy at the park, but Lois will be damned if that's gonna be Rupert today.
Oh, honey, I'm afraid Rupert had a little injury.
Oh, Rupert, please live!
I don't know, Stewie, it's not looking good. I just hope and pray Rupert signed that prenup and was up to date on his life insurance. Just because you're gonna be grieving doesn't mean you can't do it with a little money in the bank. But luckily, Lois is a real whiz with a needle and is able to sew Rupert back together.
You did this for me?
And to help you feel better, I made your favorite dinner.
See, this is who you're trying to kill all this time, a loving and thoughtful mother. Now, if you maybe want to pick this attitude back up for modern Lois, I wouldn't blame you.
Lois, I was wrong about you. You're my everything.
So Stewie goes through a whole personality change, vowing to be the best behaved baby Lois has ever seen.
I love you, Lois. You know that, right? Just in case, I'll say it again. I love you.
Alright, easy there, Tiger. You guys have only known each other for a year. Might be a little too early to be throwing around the L word so loosely like that.
Could you not talk to Lois anymore?
What?
You know, it's just I'm tired of you hitting on her.
Well, a broken clock is right at least twice a day. Except me. I've been stuck at 17L 7 o'clock for years now. But it doesn't take long for all this love bombing to wear on Lois. I can tell in her eyes she's thinking about maybe doing less smothering with love and more smothering with that pillow over there.
Mummy! Mama! Mama! Mama!
What?
Hi.
God help all the parents of kids who saw this episode on Adult Swim one night and added it to their annoying repertoire. I know that's a thing because I was one of those annoying kids. But unfortunately, too much attention kinda brings on the postpartum.
Lois, what are you doing?
Don't worry, it was just a dream. Dreaming about killing someone isn't a crime. Yet. So if you're one of those people who fall asleep listening to my voice, be prepared to lawyer up.
Somehow you've got to break Stewie of this new overdependence on you.
Well, it's worth a try.
So she decides it's time to cut the cord and not respond to every one of his advances. Parasocial relationships, am I right?
Damn you, I will not be ignored! Get back in here! Get back in here and love me!
You may think this is a little harsh, but it's good to put up boundaries and limitations, even with your own kids. It can be just as important as giving them all the attention in the world, and while it may not look like it now, Lois has made the right choice. And Lois would make the right choice extending her motherly instincts to a little boy in need of medical help in Livin' on a Prayer. So Stewie ends up making a new friend at a library concert named Scotty.
Yay! He's a good singer.
Yeah, I've been catching his library shows since there were only like 3 or 4 kids here.
Man, it was so simple to make friends as a child. All you needed was to like the same color or something stupid and you were basically friends for life.
Our little Scotty seems to be having such a good time with your son. Would you be interested in getting them together for a play date?
But there must be something in the air at the Griffins because Scotty ends up collapsing.
Oh my God, he's unconscious! Peter, what happened?
Yeah, you know me, Lois. I don't pry.
That's right, Peter. Snitches get stitches, even if it means saving the life of a child.
I'm afraid he's very sick. In fact, his lab work shows he's suffering from Hodgkin's lymphoma.
I don't know who this Hodgkin is, but somebody's got to stop him from putting all this lymphoma in kids. But when Scotty's parents arrive, they tell them that they can take it from here.
We're Christian Scientists. We don't accept medical care for ourselves and we don't permit it for our children.
For some reason, they're saying children makes me think there's a long list of former siblings who probably could have benefited from some treatment.
That poor little baby has cancer and they're just gonna take him home and pray over him?
So Lois tries her best to convince Scotty's parents to get a medical treatment, but they stand firm in their beliefs.
But Scotty is our son, and we have to tend to him as we see fit.
But your son is sick. He needs help.
Well, maybe Scotty will get lucky and come back 3 days after dying. Worked for that one guy. Though I think that guy was working with the premium battle pass of Christianity. So they leave Lois with no other option but to take matters into her own hands and get Scotty the help he needs.
All right, I got him, Lois.
Peter, what the? That's not Scotty. That's Ben.
Oh.
Seriously, Lois, what did you expect when you asked Peter to help you out?
Don't you worry, Scotty. We're gonna get you to the hospital and get you the medical attention you need.
Yeah, hang in there, buddy.
But by the time they reach the hospital, the police are already there waiting for them. I guess his parents had to file a report that someone was trying to save his life.
You're under arrest for kidnapping. I'm gonna have to ask you to hand over the baby and surrender.
Joe, please get out of our way.
Scotty's parents arrive, but Lois pleads with them that all of this is just the Lord working through her to help their son. It's like that story where someone refuses a rescue boat during a flood because they're waiting for God to save them, even though God is screaming through the phone that this is him rescuing them. God really shouldn't have given up his days of being very direct.
I mean, what's the point in praying to God if you're just gonna wipe your butt with his answers?
I mean, toilet paper isn't cheap, but I get where she's coming from. And so do Scotty's parents, who finally agree to let Scotty get treated. So even though this wasn't one of Lois's own children, her motherly instincts still forced her to go out of her way to make sure this child was taken care of. But Lois is willing to throw her weight around in order to secure Stewie's Halloween candy when it was stolen by bullies in Halloween on Spooner Street. So it's Stewie's first Halloween, a holiday someone definitely should have filled him in on beforehand.
We're under attack, Brian! By zombies and vampires and a Mexican princess!
Stewie, those aren't monsters, they're kids!
Hey, doesn't matter if it's a kid zombie or an old zombie. The only good zombie's a dead zombie. But once Brian fills Stewie in on the gist of the holiday, he becomes a lot more receptive to the concept.
Quack, quack!
Oh, my little ducky. You look so adorable.
If you find a costume that looks like a duck trying to eat you cute, then yes, it's very cute. And now that he has a get-up, Brian's gonna take him out to see all the kinds of treats he can get on Halloween.
A Cornish game hen for you. Everybody gets a hen. Would you like some gravy?
See, that's why you always want to hit up the wealthy neighborhoods so you can get some gravy to go with your Snickers. Also, how have I never noticed that kid dressed as discount copyright-free Batman at Adam West's door? Neat! But the night takes quite a turn when Stewie gets separated from Brian.
That's a nice bag of candy you got.
Oh, thank you. You know, it's actually a pillowcase.
Forget telling him about Halloween. Somebody should have been told to never talk to a kid with ripped clothing and a wallet chain. You know that kid doesn't own a wallet. Who's he trying to fool?
Hey, get back here! Hey, that's my candy! Damn you, that's my candy!
When Stewie reconvenes with Brian, they manage to track down those punk kids and try to get Stewie's candy back.
Your friend's candy is right around the corner.
All right, terrific.
Look, I won't knock on Brian here because usually when something is right around the corner, it's a good thing. Birthday, holiday, the day your enemy gets taken off of life support. So many possibilities, but Brian got the bad one.
What is that, spray paint?
Yeah, those little punks want a war, and now they've got one.
Now he's talking Stewie's language, specifically the war part.
First, we track down those teenage hoodlums and kill them all!
Yeah, okay, fine, let's kill them.
Really?
Nothing beats that sweet, sweet feeling of your friend finally getting into your hyperfixation. I'm hoping your hyperfixation doesn't involve killing people, but I know better than to ask too many questions. So the pair manages to track down the teens and prepares to get Stewie's candy back through only the most sensible means.
Hey, it's that stupid kid!
Yes, it's that stupid kid.
Because there's no better strategy to get back something stolen from you than by blowing it up. If it's good enough for the military, it's good enough for this baby. But even that tactic fails, so Stewie decides to go a more dangerous route.
Well, there's only one thing to do now. Go to plan B. Mom!
Yep, in comes Lois to ultimately save the day. But this kid looks like a repeat offender to me, and Lois knows a point needs to be made.
Now we want Justin's candy.
What?
You heard me. Take Justin's bag of candy and pour it into Stewie's.
Now this is the kind of psycho parenting I can get behind. But Justin's mom is just as guilty for letting him get away with this. Better straighten her out too.
Now go in your purse, take out $40 and put it in the bag.
All right, Lois, you're kind of scaring me now.
Anything for her little baby. Lois gets walked over every single day, so the second she has the chance to flex some mom powers, she's all over it. And Lois was all over getting revenge when Meg got embarrassed by the popular kids in the episode And the Wiener Is. So Meg wants to try out to be a cheerleader, but she gets suggested to join something a little more her style.
Are you trying out for flag girl?
So that's where My Hero Academia got the inspiration for Froppy. I can totally see the resemblance. But at least here, Meg can be accepted.
I'm on the flag girl squad!
Oh, honey, congratulations!
Kinda makes sense that a walking red flag like Meg would succeed at something involving walking with a big flag, huh?
Neil, I'm a flag girl now. I'm way too cool to be seen with you.
But not cool enough to be referring to herself as cool. Especially when she's standing next to the actual cool kids.
My mom was all like, Meg, don't forget your lunch. And I'm all like, Mom, I'm a flag girl now. I'm not gonna forget my lunch.
I don't know much about being a flag girl, but this has got me waving the white flag on this interaction. Just make my death quick and merciful, please. And it turns out the popular kids feel the same way, because when it's time for Meg's routine, they decide to bring her down a peg.
This meat stinks something fierce.
This ought to knock her down a couple notches.
Joke's on you guys, you're actually giving Meg enough slop for her trough for the whole week. Suckers.
Hey, Meg!
So Lois tries to tell Meg that she shouldn't let those kids get to her, which might be hard to do when you're still smelling like a dead pig.
So be nice to them. Win your enemies over with unflappable kindness.
Have you ever met a popular kid? They are 100% gonna find a way to flap your kindness.
About the other night.
Oh, that was hilarious. I just wish I'd known ahead of time. I would have brought potato salad.
This is some Herculean level of restraint from Meg. If someone had done that to me, I would, well, I'm afraid of confrontation, so I probably wouldn't do much. But I definitely wouldn't bet on talking to these guys. But Meg offers them the answers to a test as a peace offering.
Wow, thanks.
See ya.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And apparently, kindness does pay off, because Meg even gets invited to Connie's 16th birthday party.
How wonderful. Now what time do we nail those snot-nosed punks?
Nail them?
That's right, I forgot Lois is a vengeful mama. Apparently when she says kill them with kindness, she also has a few backup plans in case the kindness wasn't lethal enough.
Mess with one of my chicks and I'll use my razor-sharp talons to rip your eyes out. Cookies are done.
Well, after all that talk of killing, I'm kinda worried these might be poisoned now. And Lois is sparing no expense with her revenge scheme, grabbing blueprints to Connie's house and even building a flash grenade.
Now I've put together a little flash bomb to create a diversion. I used to date the pyro guy from Whitesnake.
But Meg doesn't want Lois's help to enact revenge. Just like the only Whitesnake song I know, like a drifter, Meg was born to walk alone.
I changed my mind. I'm not doing it. These people are my friends now.
You telling me you had your mom build a homemade pipe bomb for nothing? Well, I guess it's better to make friends instead of dead bodies at the end of the day.
Say hello to the lovers.
On second thought, death might be too good. That's why Lois had a plan B to deploy the most dangerous weapon of all.
How old are you?
16.
18. You're first.
Mom!
I like where this is going.
Did Lois maybe go a bit overboard weaponizing Quagmire's degeneracy like that? Maybe, but like she said, nobody messes with her chicks. Unless it's her. Or Peter. Or her other chicks. Yeah, she may have forgotten what a mom is supposed to do. But Lois would remember to put her son first when she took the fall for Chris after rumors about their relationship started to heat up when Lois became a substitute teacher in Teacher's Heavy Pet. So Lois starts to think she could be doing more at the high school when she's shown up by another PTA mom.
Sometimes it's hard to read a short email.
spam folder?
I guess throwing Shinryukens isn't exactly acceptable at these events, so passive-aggressive knockouts will have to suffice. Luckily for Lois, she finds a way to give back to the school.
I got an email from the school saying they're looking for a substitute teacher to replace Mr. Trampled On.
Well, she does have the experience, even if it didn't always play out the best. The first time, she was fired for her teaching methods in sex ed, and the second time led to a very public war with Connie D'Amico. But don't worry, that third time is definitely going to be better.
Oh, maybe I'll wear a blonde wig. Might even add a sexy beauty mark so I look like Marilyn Monroe.
Well, just make sure you keep clear of any air vents if you do. High school kids will not let you live that one down. So, under the name Lois Pewterschmidt, Lois begins subbing at the high school. Unfortunately, she happens to be doing such in Chris's class.
Oh, I want to know when this went from history class to wood shop.
Marilyn Monroe and greasers? Very 60s episode we got here. This must be like looking at hieroglyphics if you were born in the 2000s. But things get even more uncomfortable when Chris is seen getting into the same car as Miss Pewterschmidt. Because as we all know, if you're spotted in an enclosed space together, it means you're hooking up.
Wait, Chris, get down!
Whoa, Griffin's a selfless lover.
Okay, to be fair, they probably could have figured this ride home situation out better. But if she put him in the trunk, it would look like a kidnapping, so this might have been a best case scenario. But as rumors about their relationship start to swell, Chris finds himself getting a lot more attention from the popular kids.
Let's just say she and I slept together under the same roof.
Yeah, that's about the limit of what he could probably say about his mom without being sent to super hell.
I know you didn't want me to be a teacher, but it's such a thrill to see you making new friends. See you later, Chris Griffin.
Oh, if only she knew the amount of fantasies she was creating in these teenagers' heads. More than usual, I can assure you that. But talking the talk can only get you so far. In a hormonal environment like this, people are gonna need some physical proof.
We want a picture. A naked picture of Miss P, or you're a liar.
A naked picture?
A naked picture, preferably with no clothes on, I reckon. So Chris gets ready to do the deed, but can't bring himself to go through with it.
Psst, Chris. That it has even gone this far means you are a dirtbag.
Well, at least he's not a Quagmire-level dirtbag yet. Can you imagine all the bowel movements he had to sit through today just to get to this moment? But Chris manages to get the picture, and like all pictures of its kind, it gets passed around like a Four Loko at a high school basement party.
Miss Pewterschmidt is sleeping with a student. Here's the proof. That's her.
But this is all just one big misunderstanding. A misunderstanding built upon a lie that was also built upon a lie. At least it's all very funny without proper context.
One boy was unhappy with his D, and I promised to help him get it up. Then it was cram, cram, cram.
But once it becomes clear what's going on, Lois decides she needs to have a chat with her son/student/hypothetical lover.
I just wanted to be in with the cool kids no matter what. I saw popularity and I went for it.
And all it cost was potentially sending his mom to jail for several years. But as Lois comes to realize, jail time is temporary, but high school popularity is eternal.
Let me tell you all the truth. Chris Griffin was the biggest thing I ever had.
Ignoring the disgusting implications regardless of whether they know they're related or not, I guess you could say this was a sweet thing for Lois to do? A lot of moms say they'd die for their kids, but not many say they'll go to prison over a fake romantic relationship for their kids. There's probably a good reason for that. And Lois would give Meg a reason to loosen up and get out of her shell when the two went partying for spring break in a fish out of water. So Meg is upset that she appears to be the only person at her school not going anywhere for spring break.
How about you and I have our own little spring break? We'll go to that fancy new spa that just opened up in Warwick.
Lois, her status is already dead and buried. There's no need to keep kicking it while it's down. You're supposed to be disappointing your parents and running up their credit card on spring break, not hanging out with them.
See you in a few days.
Not if I strangle myself with a seaweed wrap and die.
Hey, don't threaten them with a good time. But even though she should be relaxing at the spa, Meg just can't stop seeing spring break everywhere she looks.
For CNN, I'm Bernard Shaw. Keeping it real and kicking ass at spring break!
Never thought I'd see someone lamer than CNN, but Meg just continues to surprise me. So the two decide to head home since Meg is being a wet blanket, but Lois gets the bright idea to take a detour.
Mom, what the hell are we doing here?
This is where you wanted to be, right, honey?
Yeah, but not with you.
Yeah, makes sense. When you've got a mom like Lois to be compared to, it certainly isn't doing Meg any favors.
Get out of the car. Like the kids say, up your nose with a rubber hose. Woo!
I had to look that one up, and any kids who would be saying that would at least have to be over 30. But while Meg's busy being a stick in the mud, Lois seems to be having the time of her life.
I've been waiting out here for hours.
What?
Yeah, no use trying to talk to her now. It's all high-pitched whining and spinning rooms up in that brain of hers.
You need to learn how to loosen up a little, Toots.
Yeah, I get the feeling you're loose enough for the both of us.
What?
Nothing.
But if Meg's gonna be so mopey and insufferable, Lois is better off just throwing her into the fire and giving her no choice but to have fun.
Atta girl, shake your moneymaker!
Not sure how much money she'll be able to make once the shirt comes off, but hopefully it's enough for them to post bail.
All right, everybody, this party's over.
So Meg's first spring break is going to be capped off with an arrest, but luckily Lois knows a thing or two about getting out of the back of a cop car.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, tuck and roll.
Finally, some good parental advice. You have no idea how much that would have come in handy when I was a kid. And wouldn't you know it, Lois actually managed to make Meg a little popular.
One's an innie and one's an outie.
These are the kinds of moments I wish we could get more of with Meg and Lois. I like Lois's edgier side, and seeing her use it to benefit her kids is always welcome. And Lois would need a little bit of her edge to save herself and Meg from kidnappers in the episode Snapple Decision. So Meg is being dragged along by Lois for a super special Mother-Daughter Day filled with nothing.
Oh, I also need to return this loofah. I mean, who was I kidding? I'm a dial bar smeared right on the skin, gal.
You can't just get this kind of excitement anywhere. It's been outlawed by most governments and has an 85% fatality rate. But things really get intense when they tap off this incredible day with some Snapple.
Our treat for an epic errands day.
Amazing.
Well, it's better for you than alcohol, but somehow cracking open a cold Snapple with your mom sounds even more depressing. But you know what's not depressing? Winning $10,000.
Oh my God, Meg! I won!
You're kidding!
And here I was thinking that most of those giveaways were just a bunch of BS. I was screwed over one too many times by those McDonald's Monopoly tiles and never looked back. Too bad Lois wants to use the money on something smart and responsible like a water filtration system.
Everything you do is boring. That's why we all want to hang out with Dad. Imagine what he'd do with 10 grand.
One shudders to imagine what kind of insanity Peter might unleash with that kind of money. Maybe he'll get 2 Peter copters? Inconceivable.
What if we use the money for something fun? For just us?
Like what?
A Lois copter and Meg copter? I am so glad I live in the water and don't have to worry about the risk of being in the air with them. But in reality, they end up spending the weekend at a very fancy resort.
The Snapple babes are living it up.
Kinda sounds like a one-hit wonder pop group from the 90s you forget about until you hear one of their songs and begin reliving your entire childhood in your mind. But the flaunting of their money eventually earns them the attention of a father and son duo also staying at the resort.
So what are your names?
You can call us the Snapple Babes.
Yeah, we're famous.
So famous that even Google has no idea who they are. But that's good enough for the dad and son, who invite them out for their favorite foreign country excursions. Is it really a vacation until you're kidnapped and held for ransom? It really helps you get out there and see all the dingy basements of the world.
We've never captured a beverage heiress before.
What? Who do you think we are?
The heiress to the Snapple fortune, apparently. And her parents, John and Mary Snapple, better cough up some dough if they ever want to see their hypothetical daughter and granddaughter again. But the dad and son realize they've kidnapped a bunch of phonies.
This purse is useless, just like you.
The good people at TJ Maxx may disagree with you there.
If there's one thing a mom is gonna have, it's a bottomless purse filled with junk and the exact thing you need for any situation. And by using that assortment of junk, Meg and Lois managed to defeat their kidnappers. Okay, the brick may have done most of the heavy lifting. Ladies, take notes. You may want to start carrying one around with you more often.
I'm a mom, and moms have to be prepared for anything.
So the two return home with Meg having a newfound respect for her mother. It's interesting because usually their dynamic is Meg trying to hang out with her and Lois shutting down her advances. It was nice and kind of sweet to see Lois so passionate about spending time with her daughter while also trying to earn her respect as a responsible parent. Remember kids, being responsible is always cool. Alright, feel free to throw your tomatoes at me now. And Lois would throw herself into harm's way when she went into the ghost world to rescue Stewie in the episode Petergeist. So things first go awry when Peter decides to start digging around in the family's backyard.
Authentic Native American remains. Peter, I'd put that back if I were you. You may be disturbing a sacred burial site.
Yeah, Peter already does enough stuff to disturb the land of the living. Why does he have to ruin the dead's good time too? They've earned their freedom from him. But Peter decides to disregard Brian's warning and seemingly goes out of his way to be as disrespectful as he can with the skull.
Shuck. Stop it!
You know, there are people who accidentally get cursed, and then there are people almost on their hands and knees begging to be cursed. Not too hard to see which camp Peter falls into.
Are you peeing in that skull?
Oh, no, Lois. I'm getting up and walking all the way to the bathroom and doing it there.
I'd say this man is quite the innovative gent. If I didn't remember that the skull doesn't have a jaw and that pee is probably just going all over the floor. And as one would expect, Peter's negligence invites the spirit world to start reaching out and communicating with the family.
I don't know. Oh, you didn't see it? Ross and Rachel got back together. It wasn't that great.
Yeah, I'd say that checks out. First thing I'd do if I were a ghost is figure out how all my favorite shows ended after I died. At least there are some chill ghosts who just want to talk and make some expressionist art.
Oh, I must have accidentally stacked all those things upside down and then just forgot about it.
Yeah, I think it's a Banksy.
But things quickly escalate one night as the family becomes plagued with everything from faces melting off to ghost portals sucking Stewie in.
I haven't seen anything suck this much since I Heart Huckabees!
See, most parents check their kids' closet for monsters, but they should be checking them for interdimensional portals. They're way more common and can lead to a nice tax exemption.
Mommy?
Stewie, where are you?
Look behind you, you stupid cow!
So with Stewie stuck in TV land, the Griffins are gonna need an expert in the paranormal. But they don't know one, so I guess Bruce is gonna have to do.
Hey, how y'all ghosts doing? Y'all got a little friend of ours named Stuart up there.
You know, if the YouTube thing doesn't work out, I should try getting into the spiritual medium game. You can just say whatever you want, and you get to hold hands with people. Do I sound too touch-deprived right now? Luckily, there is a way out of the ghost dimension.
Well, I don't know how else to say this, but the exit is your daughter's bum.
Meg's ass!
On second thought, maybe it would just be better to stay with the ghosts. Far fewer horrors to experience that way.
Stewie, if you can hear me, head for Meg's butt!
But after they spend the whole night waiting around, only for Stewie to never show up, Lois realizes what needs to be done.
If Stewie can't find his way out of Meg's ass, we have to enter the other realm and get him ourselves.
And while you're there, you can probably swing by and say hi to all those dead relatives. Don't stay too long though. They're from a different time and are probably very opinionated about certain things. So Lois makes the brave decision to be the one to go in there and get her baby back.
Stewie, you're all right.
Oh, thank God you guys are... Ew, you're covered in slime.
That's not even a ghost thing. Meg's body just does that. Lois stepping into the unknown to save her child is one of the most noble and brave things she's ever done. Now, if only this were a universal kindness she'd show to all of her children.
If we could only save 2, we leave Meg.
I know, but
You How could you leave me in there?
Oh well. At least we know she's capable of being a good mother. Whether it be ghosts, kidnappers, or just simply bringing her children happiness, Lois has the capacity to be a truly great parent. And yet, you would be surprised just how hard it was to come up with the top 10. But if you enjoyed this video, it's not hard to leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on our great Family Guy content.